How y'all doing this afternoon or tonight? It is the eve of Thanksgiving. I just want to post a little video. I can only speak from my own experience. And this afternoon, I called my ex-wife to speak with her about plans for tomorrow and whatnot on what's gonna go on for Thanksgiving. And she told me that she had told me about a month or so ago that she was gonna carry the kids out of town for her side of the family. And for whatever reason, I don't remember this. I'm not faulting her. Shoot, she might have did tell me and I just don't remember. But as a recovering addict, alcoholic, I went in and got off the phone before I said anything that I would regret or make matters worse. And man, it really got me down in the dumps a little bit. 'Cause the past 2-3 years, I was out of town working or whatever. Really didn't even want to come home then. I was wide open in active addiction and alcoholism. Not to mention she wouldn't let me come anyway, but regardless. I got down in the dumps on myself real quick. I didn't want to go use or drink or anything, but I was sad. I started thinking about the past days, the last 2 holiday seasons to be exact. And I got real lonely, a feeling of loneliness. I want to be with my babies, Got my two beautiful little queens. They're 7 and 9. And not to mention my son just flew back in town from Arizona. He goes to college out there. And so this is my first time seeing my son in person since May when he graduated high school. And I had high hopes of spending Thanksgiving Day with him. And that's not gonna happen now. And I got that sense of loneliness. And if you deal with or ever had to deal with alcoholism or addiction, you know that we can be real quick to jump into self-pity and despair, anger, pick up those old resentments, and loneliness will do that real quick for me. I can only speak from my own experiences. And I had my kids, all 3 of them, over at my mom and pop's house. And I had to go ahead and leave for a AA meeting at 5:30. And it was real hard because I wanted to skip out on the meeting, because my kids was there. But I gotta keep in mind, I made the hard choice. I just hugged them, kissed them, and told them, babies, Daddy loves y'all, and I hope I'll be able to see y'all after my meeting. Because my sobriety does come first. And today, that was a real hard choice to make. I have to choose my sobriety over any and all relationships that I have. Because if I do not have sobriety, I will not have a quality relationship with anyone or anything. And my babies are 7, 9, and 19. My 19-year-old, he can get it. He gets it. My 7 and my 9-year-old, they don't. They don't even know what all these big words are. And I don't try to make them understand right now. They're too young. They need to worry about kid things. And I do the very best of my ability to make sure I keep them out of grown-up business. Anywho, I go to the meeting. And the daily reflection today that alcoholics use out of Alcoholics Anonymous daily reflection book, it was speaking on keeping our face to the light. And it goes on, I can't remember it all verbatim, but it goes on to say that this man's out on his back porch and we're in his house looking through the window, and he's looking at the trees and, just really just acknowledging what season it is right now. And we're in the season of winter, and he's looking at this tree, at the leftover leaves and all, and then he sees deeper into the tree that the leaves have fallen and the branches are bare. And he almost got caught up in a moment of depression. Wintertime can bring depression type thoughts on people. Because you see, it's almost as a sense of death. Things are dying, going in hibernation, real bleak, just dreary looking days, which can bring about depressive thoughts and whatnot, or mindset. But then he thinks about how, this is how I took it. After the season of winter comes spring. What happens in spring? New growth. Things are reborn, new life. And so after they read the daily reflection, I'm sitting here thinking about myself, how I'm lonely. And while I'm speaking, I say, there's a difference in solitude and loneliness. Solitude is a good thing. Loneliness is not. And if you stay in that mindset of loneliness for too long, I think all addicts and alcoholics can agree with me in admitting that that's a bad place to be. It is for me, for this alcoholic. I just shaved. And anywho, I'm sorry. But and I had to do what my sponsor said and tell on myself. I had to get that out. So I told him, like, man, I know the right things to say, the little cliche sayings, the right words to speak for anybody else. I can tell other people the right things to do, or wise things to do. But when it comes to me, I have a problem adhering to my own advice. That's that insane thinking that I have as a recovering addict, alcoholic. But I'm taking these old timer suggestions. When I say old timers, I mean folks that have substantial amount of time in living life sober. So I'm taking their suggestions now, because the best I ever did ended up in failure and brokenness and despair. So I'm having to remind myself periodically throughout the day that I don't know the best thing to do all the time. And I'm okay with that now. So anywho, I'm sharing with them how I'm feeling, and with me being lonely, I reflect back to the past couple years, and when the holiday seasons come around and I wasn't there, and I was deep in my active addiction, and my divorce was full swing, and it was a terrible time for me. I turned to my drugs and my alcohol to numb that pain, or really just erase it from my mind, make it obsolete, so I wouldn't have to think about it, worry about it, wouldn't have to deal with it. And man, I would go hard, super hard, trying to fill up a bottomless pit. I mean, it was all in vain. It was all for naught. And I told him, I have to break it down to the smallest of things, and it stemmed from fear, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown, also fear of what it used to be, because this is my first holiday season where I'm 100% sober. And I've never done this before. Every holiday season since I was 10, I was intoxicated or using to some degree. Since I was 10 years old. I'm 37 now, so I'm in it 27 solid years. And this is my first one sober. Plus, I don't have my babies. So I had to tell on myself. That was one of the suggestions my sponsor gave me. When we have these thoughts and feelings, tell on ourselves. Go to a meeting. Call somebody on the phone. Tell them, tell them how I'm feeling. I got to be honest with Chris. So I did this. And the chairman who was running the meeting, or conducting the meeting, he asked a question to everyone. He was, hey, after hearing what Chris just shared, is there anyone else that feels like that or has those thoughts and feelings? And there was about a quarter of the people raised their hand in the room. That was comforting, to know that I wasn't alone. But what was even more comforting than that is other people trudging uphill in their road of recovery knew exactly what I was feeling like. And they're still sober. They let me know I can do it too. I can look to them for suggestions, for advice, pointers, tips. or I can just be around them and not even have to say nothing because they know. And then I wouldn't be lonely. You know, I don't mind being by myself. I did almost 10 years in prison. I worked offshore in the middle of the ocean for 6, 7 years. Yeah, there's people there, but very easy to be alone. I worked on the road with the union for 3.5 years. Traveled alone. Last 11 years, I was out of prison, you know. I could be around 1 million people and be alone. And that's how it had been, you know. I could be at a bar. I mean, 200 people there laughing, kicking and hee and ha-ha, and playing pool, throwing darts, drinking, eating, getting high out of my mind. I'm still lonely. You know, so I mean, I'm alone right now in my camper. Anywho, I got these feelings out of my body. You know, I shared how I was feeling, what I was thinking. It was a relief to release that burden. Just to have someone sit there and listen and not judge. Someone that'll understand. I'm not looking for sympathy at all. I'm not throwing no pity party, you know. My recovery is about Chris. I support each and every man and woman in those meetings. But I go to AA every day for Chris's sobriety. And if I'm able to help someone along the way, then so be it. That is great. I am ecstatic about that. But I have to keep it 100. I'm there for me. My sobriety is the most important thing in this world. It's more important than my parents and I and my relationship. It's more important than me and my ex-wife's relationship. More important than me and my kids. It's more important than the relationship I have with my higher power. Because if I'm not sober, I will not have a meaningful, fulfilling relationship with anyone. Anyone. Now, the relationship with my higher power and my sobriety, they run in hand because they intermingle, interconnect. If I don't have one, I don't have the other. So after the meeting, I felt a whole lot better. I called my ex-wife. And I asked her, I was like, hey, since I can't have the kids for tomorrow, can I have them and carry them to dinner tonight after the meeting? I got out of the meeting at 6:30. So about 6:45, 7 o'clock, I called her. I said, hey, can I carry the kids out to Thanksgiving dinner with me? And then I'll drop them off. If it's after you get off work, I can carry them out to the house and drop them off. Or my son, he can drive them back over there. She said no. Then hung up on me. I instantaneously wanted to become furious. The old me would have. Oh, I'd have snapped. I'd have cussed her out for everything she was worth, But I'm a new creation now, and I haven't arrived. I'm not perfect. I do not proclaim perfection, none. But I'm growing. So this time I didn't instantaneously get frustrated, angry. I was upset. I'm not only getting them for Thanksgiving, but now you sitting there telling me I can't even have them for dinner tonight? I said, okay. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving. Hung up. I got to thinking a little bit. I'm rushing. I'm flushing downtown. I'm headed to Mama and Daddy's house so I can see my kids real quick before my son leaves and carry them up there to my ex-wife's work. I want to know why, though. So I called back my ex-wife. I'm like, hey, why can I not carry my kids to Thanksgiving dinner? And she's like, well, our son just called and I'm gonna let him stay and he's gonna bring them when he's done. All right, cool, bye. I hang up. I'm like, I don't have to be that mad now. I'm getting what I want, regardless. Because my son's with my girls at my mama and daddy house. So, Mom Dukes hit me up, say, hey, babe, you just meet us at the restaurant. So I was like, bet. So, and it's like I'm having an epiphany at the same time. I'm like, wow, that's a small little miracle that the Creator did. That's the way I view that. Because I was presented with a test. And I adhered to the suggestions that the old timers had given me, and the way this program puts out there in the big book, the Alcoholics Anonymous book. And first and foremost, I need to let it be known I am not a spokesperson for Alcoholics Anonymous, nor do I proclaim to be. I only speak of my own personal experiences and the steps and the methods and the suggestions that I use to achieve daily sobriety. I need that to be known now. Anywho, so I'm seeing like these small little miracles being performed daily. And it's small tests that I'm passing, those small victories. I pay attention to those now. Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, in my mind, my heart, and soul, if I'd have blowed a gasket and flipped out, spazzed out, cussed her out, I wouldn't have even been able to have a dinner tonight with my kids. But I remained cool, calm, collect. I did not act irrational towards her. I did not disrespect her. I was civil. My tongue started bleeding a little bit from where I bit it, but it worked. And as I was riding to the restaurant, I had to take a moment of pause and just. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you. Right before I found out the good news, I said a small prayer on God. I was like, I say, Lord, I said, man, I surrender again. I said, I ain't got no power. I have no control over how other people think, act, say, do, or anything. Only have power over keeping positive or negative thoughts, which I choose positive. And I got power of my actions. And then one of the sayings that I tell myself, I read it somewhere a long time ago. I don't remember where I read it at, where I heard it from. But it was super, super profound. And I use this on myself all the time now. I say, Chris, be the change that you seek. Be the change that you seek. So after I said this prayer, I was like, Lord, just give me strength to be the change that I seek. You take it. Your will be done, not mine. Boom. 2 minutes later, I find out the good news. So man, I'm having a little praise moment in my truck on the way to the restaurant. super ecstatic, super happy. And you know, in the past though, I would have been like, man, I'd have found something to be mad about. On God. I would have got pissed off because I only got them for dinner for the night. Man, come on, man. You know, old timer told me, he said, Chris, do not make minors into majors. All the sense in the world. What I'm going to be mad about? I had to go back and read the divorce papers, and the divorce decree actually says she gets them on the holidays during the even number years. And then I get them in the odd number years. And you know, I read that earlier today, and I had to go back and apologize to her, and I did. I said, you know what? I apologize. I stand corrected. But anywho, I'm not making that into no major thing. Man, shoot, I'm thankful for the little that I do have. Because, baby, I'm telling you right now, it could be 100 times worse. So I'm thankful for that little bit. Because I've learned, for me, I've learned to make the best out of this moment, right now. Be the best me out of this moment. Because that's all I got. Right now, all I have is what I'm recording right here. This is the best I can do in this moment. I can't worry about yesterday. It's gone. Can't change it, can't bring it back. It ain't like these new text messages on the iPhones where I can hit the button and edit it. No, man, the past. Can't bring that back. That's a wrap. I can glance back there from time to time. Oh, I see in this situation I did whoop, whoop, the whoop. Yeah, that didn't work. So I can do that. I can look in my little rear view mirror and see, yep, yeah, don't want to go back there. But I can't change nothing about the past. That's done. Now the future, man, that's a fairy tale. That don't even exist. So that means right now, all I have is this moment. So let me do the very best in this moment. And that's what I choose to do now. It's not always easy. Heck no. I don't always want to. I'd be a bold-faced lie if I told you I always want to, and I do always do it. I don't claim perfection. I claim progression. Active progress. That is what's important. That is key. That is necessary. All right, so thank the Creator. I was able to have a beautiful Thanksgiving dinner at our favorite Mexican restaurant, Mexican cuisine. You know, a restaurant called Rodeo. I had the Cozumel Especial. And anywho, I had both my girls. I had my son, my son's girlfriend, my nephew, my mom, and my pops. And that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was special, you know. I called everyone's attention, you know. I asked everyone, let's hold hands so I can say a prayer. You know, I thank the Creator for allowing it, making that possible, for doing the things that I was incapable of doing. But He only did that because I surrendered and I relinquished my control. Because I'm powerless. Yeah, I can try to force it. I can try to make this and make that. It don't work like that in the real world. And I battled that my whole life. But you know, today, sober, I don't always understand it. I don't have to always understand it. But you know, my partner up top, man, he came through. His track record's flawless. He always comes through. Anywho, we're in prayer holding hands. And my spirit is, my cup runneth over from joy, gratitude, appreciation, thankfulness, true thanksgiving. That means everything in the world to me. And you know, if I was still drinking and drugging, that would not have happened. I'd have been drunk or high. I done started an argument with somebody, or somebody would have been pissed off at me because I'm drunk and high. I probably wouldn't even have had my kids with me. But you know, I don't have to worry about that now. Because I choose to seize the moment, which is right now, and do the next right thing for right now, and that is be sober. So, I come to everyone today, and I wanted to share that with y'all. I don't know. I've learned a long time ago, you never know what the next person's going through. How bad it is, how hard it is, how tough it is, what they're thinking. What might be easy for me might be extremely hard for someone else. What's tough for me might be super hard for someone else, but super easy for the next one. I created this YouTube channel. I don't even know what I'm doing. You know, I'm straight up. I don't know nothing about this. I mean, yeah, I know how to take a picture, a little video here and there, and upload it. That's all I know how to do. But what the Creator has laid upon my soul, I always asked what my purpose in this life was. That day I surrendered all. I surrendered my will over to my higher power, the Creator. That was the day I realized, understood, acknowledged, and accepted what my purpose was. And I heard him. I heard the voice clear as day. Your purpose is here. And I was at a picnic table in front of the AA meeting then. And you know, that was a spiritual awakening for me. And I had a psychic change. And I'm grateful for that. But anywho, that's when he introduced my purpose to me. And now I know that fully is, that's why I was saying why I created this channel. Why I'm uploading videos such as these right here. For one, I want to do the best in this moment. And I'm doing it in this manner because the Creator let me know that my soul, my spirit, let me know that I need to share my story, share my experiences with other people. I need to get it out in the public, out in the open. And hopefully, Lord's will, the Creator's will, whomever you want to call your higher power, His will be done. And I'm doing what I'm doing now because He has allowed me to have extensive, I'm talking about extensive training and experience in drugs and alcohol. And with that being said, it is my purpose to share my story, my experiences with others, which I'm doing now, in hopes that the next alcoholic or the next drug addict know that there's still hope. You know, all is not lost. No matter how bleak, how impossible, if y'all never believe nothing I say, believe these words right here. Never count yourself out. Ever. If anyone would have told me I'd be right where I'm at right now 3 months ago, I'd probably hit you in your mouth. I'd have cussed you. You a liar, you know. Surrendering, maintaining sobriety, keeping that open roadway, that open bridge between yourself and the higher power. Working this sobriety program, taking suggestions from old timers, people with substantial amounts of sober time, taking suggestions from them and doing the very best in this moment, the next right thing. It might go slowly, it might go quickly, but rest assured, progress will present itself. So this is why I'm doing this. For those who have watched the brief summary of my testimony, I hope it was encouraging. I hope it was enlightening. I hope it was educational. I hope any and all were able to gain something from it. If anyone did not gain anything from it, at the very least, I thank you for sharing your valuable time with me. I hope and pray that anyone who comes across any of my videos, please share them. Share them, and then share them. I want to get as many people as possible to be able to hear my words, see my face, watch my videos, in hopes that I am able, or that the Creator is able to use me to enrich or encourage someone else's life, at least a little bit. I mean, just a smidgen. You know, I don't profess or proclaim to be a part of any religious group. I'm spiritual. But you know, even in the Bible, you know, it says, faith of a mustard seed to move a mountain. You know, and I have unshakable faith in my Creator. So that's why I say, if it's His will be done, I'm hoping just a small inkling of any type of righteousness is being able to be drawn out of my videos or my speech, then that means I made a difference. And you know, that falls in line with my purpose. I do not claim any recognition. I definitely do not want any self-pity. I don't want anyone else's pity or sympathy. You know, I just want others to help me get my word out. Kind of rambled a little bit then. The main purpose of this video right now was the change of seasons. Myself even being lonely, you know. That's how it started out. but then the Creator doing things that I was incapable of doing for myself. But by me adhering to the suggestions, doing the next right thing, working the mechanisms that I have learned thus far, I wasn't able to get what I wanted tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day. But the Creator blessed me to where I was able to get it tonight. Wow. So if anyone, whoever watches this, if you don't get nothing out of this, please hear these words. Stay strong. Stay steadfast. Continue to work your plan. But most of all, and most importantly, stay sober today. Don't worry about tomorrow, because that's not guaranteed. I can't worry about tomorrow because I might go to sleep here in the next few minutes and I might breathe my last breath. And I'll tell you, if I do, I'll die a happy man. Straight up. I've already died 13 times. I don't fear death anymore, you know. But because I've done the best I could today. In these moments today, I did my best. And now I'm trying to do something selfless. I'm not doing this for me. I want to help someone else. I don't want you to have to go down the road I went down. I don't wish that on no one. I'm not here because I'm strong. Man, I'm here because my Creator carried me when I was incapable of carrying myself. And for that to happen, that means it's something else for me. And I know what that is now. That's for me to share my experiences with others. If I spend the rest of my life, it don't even matter if I live to 100 years old. That means 63 more years of my life. If all I am able to do is enrich one person's life out of the next 67 years of mine, and I made the area around me, my direct areas, if I made it just a little better and enriched someone else's life, then I have served a meaningful purpose in my time here. That's all I want to do, man. I want to show others that no matter what type background you come from, what type of demographics you come from, ethnicity, you know, all of that. No matter the struggles, a fulfilling and meaningful life can be obtained with sobriety, meaning without drugs and alcohol. And I'll tell you now, it's not as bad as people, or as you may think it would be. I thought it was impossible. I would have never had a clue. But it is possible. So, with that being said, in closing, I want to let it be known, if you are practicing this way of life and striving for sobriety, actively working and aggressively working towards sobriety, if times get hard, you get triggered on something, you have flashbacks, you have a using dream or whatever, pick up the phone, call someone. Not your old drug buddies, drinking buddies, no. Call someone responsible. Call another fellow addict or alcoholic that's in sobriety, someone who understands. Call them. Tell on yourself. Get it out. Don't hold it in. That's what I mean by tell on yourself. Get it out from inside. It's dangerous when you hold it in. Pressure bust pipes. So don't keep it in. Strongly urge you to do that, as well as go to an AA meeting. Go to an NA meeting. Go to one. We can't do it on our own. It's impossible. If you can do it on your own, then you're one of the lucky ones. I'm not going to discredit anyone, you know. I can only speak from my own experiences. But I highly suggest and encourage any and everyone, if you're having a bad day, if you're alone, if you're lonely during these holiday seasons, man, reach out to somebody. Don't be foolish. Don't be like I was. Speak. Go get help. There's nothing wrong with admitting help. I used to always think I would be super weak for surrendering. Man, I ain't never bowed to nobody. My knees don't even bend like that. That's one of the greatest lies that I ever accepted as a truth. Because now, with me actively and aggressively and continuously surrendering daily to my higher power, it has only empowered me even more. That's true strength. We're only as strong as our greatest weakness. So, in closing, when need be, call someone sober. Go to an NA or AA meeting and get it out. If you will go to any lengths necessary, if you're willing to go to any lengths necessary for your sobriety, then a life of recovery is possible for you. And I believe in you if you are at that point. All right, with that being said, I'm going to close this thing out with the Lord's Prayer. First, take a brief moment of silence for the still suffering addicts and alcoholics that's out there tonight. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Hey, y'all, keep coming back. It'll work if you work it. Enjoy y'all's night. I hope everyone has a blessed and prosperous Thanksgiving Day. Signing out.